often tell my friends, I said, you don't question why we eat dinner every day. You don't question why we eat breakfast every day. Every morning you need breakfast. You need nourishment for the body. And what about fresh air? Do you need fresh air or you don't need fresh air? Of course you need fresh air. Because if you don't have fresh air, you'll die. Imagine living in a room where there were no windows, no air conditioning. You would die. You need water. You need water to drink. You need air to breathe. You need food to eat. These are the essentials of life. And so to a spiritual life, the essentials are feeding the soul. Feeding the soul with inputs, with the nutritions that are not for the body, mind, and ego. And every day we will continue to have these sessions, my dear friends, because of how important it is to feed. Actually, the soul doesn't need to feed. We use the terminology feed the soul. It's just a terminology. It's a figure of speech. It's just, we say it, but actually we want to realize the soul. So you spend silence because you want to realize the soul. You do yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, the 8 limbs of Patanjali yoga, because you want to reach that point. Today, the question that the nourishment of today's session, the question that we are asking is a very relevant, practical question on the screen. How can our attachment to or craving for worldly pleasures cause suffering? How can our attachment to or craving for worldly pleasures cause suffering? My dear friends, I throw open this question to you. Do you feel that attachment to some people and possessions? Do you feel craving for worldly things causes suffering? If yes, please share. If no, then we can bypass and go to other questions. How many of you find that this attachment causes suffering? Why does it cause suffering? Why should we renounce it? Why should we transcend it? Why should we be detached for it? What is the suffering that it causes? Does it actually make us suffer? Let us introspect and contemplate. Who would like to go? I see one hand up, Kaumudi, Supreme Kaumudi.
Yes. So I feel that any kind of want and wishes actually make us do a lot of things which are making us very unhappy. And especially if you don't get the desired results or the objects that you crave for, you become more unhappy. So in the process of getting it also, you are suffering, and then afterwards if the result is not in the favor also, there is a lot of like the kind of failure you feel, like you fail, people fail you, or you don't come up to your own expectations. So I think any yearning or any want ultimately makes you very miserable.
So you're right, obviously, right from the point when people think, when I was in business, Kaumudi,
Yes.
what I used to tell, what I used to tell my team members, my managers. At that time, I was a mad businessman. I was completely passionate about business. So I used to teach them to tell in the prayer. That time there was one Muslim manager. So I used to teach them in the prayer. I used to tell him, Allah Mia, kharche badao. Allah Mia, kharche badao. Kharche badao means, Allah Mia, kharche badao means increase my expenses. Why increase my expenses? Because if you increase my expenses, I have to increase my earnings. If I have to increase my earnings, I have to run like a madman, and I have to earn more, and I have to become successful. So my dear Kaumudi, right from the time when there is desires, more stress, more anxiety, if you achieve success, it is called, in the Yale University, there's a class. It's called the success paradox. In the Yale University, the class is called the success or the happiness paradox. Basically, the happiness paradox is that a person in the Olympics comes first. The person is dancing. They got the reward. They got the gold medal. The person coming second got the silver medal. The person is crying. Why? Because the person expected the gold medal. And the person got the bronze medal. The third place is dancing and jumping because she didn't expect anything. So it's a very funny, this is called a paradox. A paradox is something we don't understand. You are right. The moment there's desire, there's success, there's achievement, all this ultimately leads to suffering. But we human beings don't see it. We feel attachment to things and to people give us happiness. It's not that we should not enjoy things or enjoy people. We can enjoy things, we can enjoy people, but the attachment causes suffering. We should not be attached. How can we be detached? The law of detached attachment. We just finished a book, The 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment. How can you reach that state of detached attachment? You are detached on the outside, on the inside, but on the outside, you look like you're attached. It seems you're attached to everything, but inside, you are completely detached. Thank you, Kaumudi. So, thank you. Yes, you are right that there's suffering. We would go on to Sudeep Bhargava. Why is there suffering, Sudeep Bhargava, when there's attachment or there's desire for people and possession?
Sure, sir. So you already
Sure.
covered up everything, but I will just maybe change the few words here and there. So my starting point would be the desire, that we desire for something. Now, if that desire is not met, leads to suffering. If that desire is met, then we get that attachment to whatever we have achieved, we get attached to it. So either we look for another zero, like you say in your business, it's like another zero. So again, it is giving me suffering. And if I get attached, suppose I wanted an iPhone, I got that iPhone. Now I get attached with that iPhone. The moment that iPhone breaks or a new model comes, again, it is going to give me the suffering. So when I start with desire, any route that I take, I'm reaching to the suffering only.
But we don't
So,
understand it. The problem is, Sudeep,
yes.
what you're saying is very clear, right? But we all are living with desires. So the trick to learn is, so does it mean we should not enjoy this world? No, we should enjoy. But we should not have expectation. We should enjoy, but there should be no attachment. We should enjoy, but there should be no disappointment. We should enjoy, but there should be no stress and greed. But people don't learn the art.
Maybe we can change our desire also. We can desire for God. That would be a better desire. If at all we need to have a desire.
So you desire for the divine and you accept whatever prasad he gives you. This is the right way to live. Right. To desire for the divine and accept whatever prasad he gives you. If he gives you, good. If he doesn't give you, it's not when you go to temple and the pujari gives you coconut, you accept the prasad or you don't accept. Yesterday, when the devotee came to a temple and he gave prasad, gave coconut, he told the pujari, "Mujhe coconut nahi chahiye, mujhe masala dosa do. Mujhe masala dosa chahiye, prasad." The pujari was laughing. You don't tell God what prasad you want. Your prasadam comes to you, you accept it. You don't decide, you don't tell the divine what prasadam you want. Okay, thank you, Girish, and then Tushar. Girish.
Attachment, in a way, can also be called seeking fulfillment from worldly things. When fulfillment cannot be obtained from worldly things, it can, in finality, lead to misery only.
So actually, this is the biggest foolish thing in the world, right? Everybody in this world believes that only worldly things will give happiness. 99% of the people in the world think that it is only in this world, only worldly things will give happiness. Not 10% or 20%, 99%. That's why in my quote, I say 99% people, 1% people are visually blind. 1% are visually blind. 99% are spiritually blind. 99% are spiritually blind. They don't understand. What are we seeking? Why are we seeking for these worldly things? With these worldly things, whether it is people, whether it is possessions, are these worldly things, are they going to fulfill my desires? Are they going to fulfill my expectations? Are they going to make me happy? No, they're not going to make me happy. Then why don't I realize it? When will I realize that this is not going to give me happiness? Thank you, Sudeep. Tushar Modi. Girish, thank you, Girish.
Sir,
Tushar Modi.
Sir, when we say getting attached with the materialistic world or materialistic product, then we will be in suffering, sir. When the products, when we get attached with the materialistic product, when suppose we do not have that product, we will we will be in trouble and get suffer. So we will be suffering from the why suppose when we get attached with the product, we will be suffering when the product is not with us. Suppose even the human beings, suppose when someone dies, we will be in trouble and we will be suffering. When we get attached too much with that body or the person.
So what is the solution?
Sir, we should realize that the materialistic products will just does not last long with us. It is just it is just the Maya, we can say.
So it is a realization, right? It is the realization that nothing is ours. We come without anything, we go without anything. This is what we have to realize. It may look like a boring story. Nobody comes with us, nobody goes with us. Oh, we know it. But then why do we suffer? Why do we get attached to people? This is what is called avidya, ghor avidya. There is ignorance. And this ignorance leads to suffering. And we are running a race. We are running a race. And in this chase, we want to be an ace. And we get caught in the maze. So this is a problem. How many people actually enjoy? Satke chit mein rehta, ananda mein रहता सच्चिदानंदा हाल है वो सत्य का एहसास करना. How do you reach that state of Sat Chit Ananda? That is the big challenge. Thank you, Tushar. Ashok Nichani. Ashok Nichani. Are you there, Ashok? I'm not sure if Ashok.
Shivam Sarji.
Shivam, Ashok, bolo.
When expectations are not met and our targets are not achieved,
what happens?
We are not satisfied.
Why?
Because our expectations are not met and our targets, we have not achieved our targets.
So why, do you know, have you analyzed why, who is not satisfied? Why are we not satisfied? You know?
That is because of our expectations.
So whose expectations?
Our expectations.
Who's that our?
Which we think we will get and we don't get.
So who gets upset?
Our mind.
The ego.
Ego.
The ego. I
Ego.
wanted it. I wanted. I. And with the me, with the mind.
Me.
Basically, it is ME, mind and ego.
Mind and ego.
So Ashok, yes, you're right. The moment there is a desire and then there is a disappointment, you get so upset. And especially, you know, it happens all along, right? For example, you're in one shop. Ashok, you're in one shop and there are 2 samosas in the counter. And your wife tells you, I want samosa. So what do? You tell that man, give me samosa. And that rascal, that fellow, he tells you, ha, 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 ha. And by the time he can get you samosa, he goes to give somebody else rasgulla. You see, another customer comes, another salesman takes the 2 samosas and goes. In front of your eyes, they take the 2 samosas and they're gone. And now you tell that guy, where is my 2 samosas? He tells you, sorry, sir. Sorry, khatam ho gaya. How do you feel?
Yes, sir. Very bad, Sirji.
You get very
because
upset.
I had ordered him first. They came later.
So you can't imagine I'm giving a small story of 2 samosas. I'm just telling you a small story of 2 samosas. I'm not talking of big. But this is magnified in life in hundreds of ways. The ego gets so upset. The ego gets so disturbed. The ego gets so stressed out. How do we reach that? So we have to break this attachment. Thank you, Tanu Chopra. And then we'll throw open to question and answer administrator. Who else wants to ask other questions? Because we want 20 minutes for Ask AiR. Tanu, and then we have got Rumataji.
Shivam, Guruji.
Shivam, Tanu.
Guruji, I think all the things that we desire or we get attracted to give us a very temporary happiness. Then when it is normal, then we will not feel happy about it for a long time. And then there will be another expectation to buy something else. Then we'll buy that, that will again give us temporary happiness. So all the worldly things do give us happiness, but for a very short duration. But if inside we are happy, our soul is happy and connected to God, then that gives us full satisfaction.
Thank you. Lovely, a very lovely way of you putting it, Tanu. Thank you. And somehow we human beings, we are too caught up in this material world of being satisfied by people, by possessions, by places, products. That's why today the whole world is full of so many material merchandise. You see how much merchandise. Have you ever gone to a perfume shop? Have you seen the number of perfumes they have? Have you gone to a cosmetic shop? Have you seen the number of soaps and shampoos and nail art and what kind of art and skin art and creams and massage oils? Oh, it is no end to it. Millions. I mean, there must be. It is now. It's a huge business because people are trying to satisfy these sensual pleasures. And when people are trying to satisfy these sensual pleasures, it is a big problem. It is a huge problem. So that is how we need to be free from this, what she said, Tanu said, temporary pleasures. We want eternal happiness. How people ask the question, what is the state of eternal happiness? Eternal happiness. How do you reach that state of peace and bliss and joy? How do you reach that state? That is our challenge. Rumataji.
Thank you, Guruji. Listening to you is like meditation only. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivoham. Rumataji. आप अपना सुंदर आवाज तो सुनाई दीजिए, पर अनम्यूट तो कीजिए.
Guruji pranam. Guruji, I feel till we are dependent on the materialistic words or maybe relations or whatever, up to that point we can never be happy. It is only temporary. If we remove the dependency of other things, maybe relations, materialistic things, then only we can go for Satchitanand. When we will free ourselves from the dependency of others.
So there's a very fine, thank you, Rumataji, but there's a very fine line. It does not mean that we should not enjoy eating a samosa. You can enjoy the samosa, but they should not, your happiness should not be dependent on the samosa. What you're saying, the word dependent is very important. There is nothing wrong in doing everything that you do. There is nothing wrong in living a normal life. Please live absolutely normal life. Nothing I believe that we should cut. But the moment we become attached, the moment we become dependent, the moment we become a slave, then we take misery to our grave. The challenge is not to be attached, not to be dependent. A lot of people talk about how we should give up this and give up that, especially in the Jain school of thought. And the Jain school of thought, and you know, they say, ye tyag karo, wo tyag karo. Kyun tyag kare, bhai? Why should I renounce? What is the reason for me to renounce? Renounce your attachment. Renounce your dependency. What Rumataji said, don't be dependent. Don't let your happiness depend. Suppose your happiness depends only on your daughter. So if your daughter is there, then you're happy. If your daughter is not there, you're unhappy. Wrong. One day your daughter may not be there at all. Suppose it's your beloved. If your beloved is there, you're happy. If your beloved is not there, unhappy. Wrong. Your happiness should not be dependent on anything or anybody. So let's throw open the question answer session. Thank you, Rumataji. To ask any question on any subject, remember, we meet only for 30-35 minutes. In these 30-35 minutes, there are about 60, 70, 80 people who come and go. And we're all seeking. We are seeking enlightenment. We are seeking liberation. We are seeking unification. We are seeking happiness, peace, purpose, self-realization, God realization, Satchidanand. We are seeking enlightenment. How are we going to get there? What is holding us back? What do we need? What is missing? These are the things we need to find out. What is holding me back? Ask yourself the question and ask me the question. What is holding you back? Where are you stuck? Why are you stuck? Are you enlightened? If you are not enlightened, how far are you? Have you realized the truth? If you have not realized the truth, what is stopping you? If it is your mind stopping, how are you dealing with it? If it is your ego, what are you doing? If it's your senses, what are you doing? I throw open the questions to you.
Shivam,
Shivoham?
I want to know about bhakti. जैसे कि अब भक्ति अलग अलग प्रकार की होती है या भक्ति एक प्रकार की होती है और भक्ति कैसे करनी चाहिए?
भक्ति is एक. Bhakti is मेरे प्रीतम, मेरे प्रेमी, प्रभु सब कुछ तुम ही, ओ तुम बिन प्रभु क्या जीना. So bhakti is the love for God. Yesterday I was trying to explain to you, prema yoga is love for the manifestation of God. And bhakti is deep devotion and deep yearning for God. तेरे लिए मैं हूँ प्यासा, कण कण में तू ही चाहता, सांसों में मेरे तू बसा. This is bhakti. Bhakti is having deep love for God, deep love for the divine, deep devotion for the divine.
बस और कुछ नहीं है. जैसे कि अभी मेरी मम्मी सुबह जल्दी उठती है 4-5 बजे, ठंडे पानी से नहाना, दिया बत्ती करना, वैसा कुछ नहीं करना है.
See, bhakti is of any form. No form of bhakti is bad. It may be arti, it may be archana, it may be tapasya, it may be any. It's all bhakti. No bhakti is bad. But bhakti will not lead to mukti. Bhakti must give you shakti. That shakti must lead you to mukti. That if you don't have bhakti, if you don't get the shakti and you continue with bhakti, there will be no mukti. There will be no chance of mukti.
शक्ति means what? Like, अब शक्ति तो है ना इंसान में.
Shakti means enlightenment. Shakti means that realization. Shakti means that light, that energy, that power.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from Bridget. I would like to know, dear, do I am to attract of mithya? Huh? I would like to know if I am attached to mithya or samsara. So Bridget,
yes.
when you are attached to the material world, suppose you are attached to beautiful diamond earring, or attached to very nice, beautiful crystal watch, or you are attached to something, then you become attached to this maya or mithya. Because in this, all these material things are only illusion. They are not. Can you take with you? When you die, will you take with you?
No.
You cannot take with you.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I will take nothing with me. But in fact, what I would like to know is if I am so attached to a word and activity and help people and go to know whatever happened. I'm full curious, and sometimes I don't know if it's good. You understand what I try to explain?
Yeah. So if you are so attracted to the world and attached to the world and people and fun and you do all those things, right?
Now I want to help. I want to help a cause. I want to help freedom. I want to help what happened in my country now. And I find it important to help this event to get right. You understand?
So you want to help
you know
others.
What I try to explain? You know what I talk about?
I am trying to understand. You are saying You are saying you want to help others.
Yes, yes.
Helping others is fine. But before you help others, you help yourself. First, you must be liberated. First, you have to understand, I am not Bridget. Bridget is just my name. First, you have to realize that I am the divine soul. And you must be in the state of Sat Chit Anand. When you are in that state of Sat Chit Anand, then you can vibrate that to your friends. You can help others. But first you must reach that state. It's good to help others. It's good to tell people how to be happy, how to go to enlightenment. Because in your country, many people don't know, right? People are busy running. People are running a race. Make money, more money, more money. Now, what will you do with money? You can do nothing with money.
No.
So it's good to help people, but also good to work towards your enlightenment, your liberation, freedom from all these things. So we have some typed questions, but Tushar Modi and then typed questions. Tushar Modi, I have 2-3 typed questions, I believe.
Sir, when we talk about Mahan Atmas like Adi Shankaracharya ji, he got enlightened in very little age, very small age, we can say. Sir, how it is possible, sir? Is it the past karma of the Mahan Adi Shankaracharya ji, or he is the God himself who born as a human being, sir?
Tushar, he is the God himself that is born, and you are also the God that is born. You and Adi Shankara are no different. Adi Shankara also is like you. Now, Adi Shankara, maybe his karma was such that in small age, at 8 years, he started the journey. Maybe I think when he was 14 or 16, he must have got full enlightenment. But when he was 8, he started the quest. Now, Tushar also is like that. Tushar can be like Adi Shankara. So it is our karma, it leads to our circumstances. So obviously, Adi Shankara must have reached that point of enlightenment in this previous life. Just at that point of enlightenment, he must have died. And he did not achieve enlightenment. So he came back and then he became Adi Shankara. Otherwise, it's very difficult for somebody in the age of 8 to start a talash or quest and to realize the truth. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one more question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, when we talk about Vidya, Avidya, sir, one Vidya is that makes us realize that we are not the body, mind, ego. And one Vidya which makes us to live in this materialistic world, it does not let us go towards that Vidya which thoughts us that we are not the body, we are not the mind. Sir, we say that Vidya's Avidya, sir. So is it right, sir, that what we learn till now from in school life, in colleges, it is the avidya, sir? We can.
It is completely avidya. It is mythology. It is myth. What they teach us in schools is not what is the. It is they consider it to be vidya. That's why they say vidya shalaya or something. Vidyalaya. The Kendriya Vidyalaya. What is Vidyalaya? What vidya you're giving? So that what you're saying is quite right. That what we are learning in school actually is not vidya. It is avidya. Real vidya is what we are talking on this call every day. Real vidya is what is called Brahma Vidya, Brahma Gyan, Atma Gyan. Atma Gyan means the Gyan of the Atma. Brahma Gyan means the Gyan of Sip. So we need to work towards that. We have 2 questions. Thank you, Tushar.
Thank you,
very
sir.
interesting questions. Alka, you're on the call, I hope. The question, when you say an enlightened person enjoys bliss and peace throughout the day, I realize just for 2-3 seconds, if our mind becomes thoughtless and we can feel our breathing and feel relaxed, is this just a fraction of enlightenment, or the experience of enlightenment is something else? Very interesting question, Alka. So, Alka, when you are silent for just few seconds and you experience the bliss, that is just a dot. That is just a dot of the enlightenment. See, when you reach that state of enlightenment, It's called Sat Chit Anand. That is a nasha. That is an intoxication. Even somebody who has 10 whiskey glasses cannot get that feeling. Because you get a nasha, you feel you are in that state of nirvana. It's a very beautiful feeling, Alka. And what you feel in a few seconds of silence or thoughtlessness or consciousness is just a dot. It's just a dot of what you experience in Satchidanand, in Chaturya, in Samadhi, in Nirvan, in Jivan Mukti, or Sthit Pragya state. All these are different names, but they are one and the same state. So we try to reach that state where, let me explain this state for you. That for all of you benefit before I close, let me explain this state. What is this state we are talking about? Here it is. We are living in this material world. In this material world, we are caught by relationships. Mother, father, husband, wife, children, friends, family, society. Everybody has expectations. And we are not able to fulfill everybody's expectations. People become unhappy. We become unhappy. We are living in this material world. And we are living in this world. And before we realize it, we die. Before we realize it, life is over. Before you realize it, you're 25, you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, and you're dead. Finished. You're just at the edge of death. Life is over. What did you do? You were in a merry-go-round. Going round and round, you are passing pleasure and pain again and again. But you did not realize the purpose. Why I came to earth? Why this human birth? Why did I come here? First question, who brought me here? Why was I born in this country, to this parents, in this gender? Why? Nobody has the time to ask the question, my dear friends. Can you believe out of 8 billion people, not even 1% are asking this question? People just live and people just die. So then, why did we come to earth? What brought us to earth? What will happen? Death is certain. Are we not going to die? Of course, the body will die. And people will say we passed away. Our own loved ones, they're so sure we left the body. They burn the body. They're so sure. That means we are not the body. All these are the realizations, which is called Sat. How can we be in this Sat? We have to be in Chit. Chit means consciousness of this Sat. When we are in Chit of Sat, then we experience what is called Ananda. And that Ananda, Alka, is amazing. What you just said, 2-3 seconds of thoughtlessness or consciousness, that is not even one drop of the nectar. Not even one drop. So we will close with Mohan's question. I think Mohan has raised his hand. Mohan, your question. You are still unmuted. We can't hear you. Yes, Mohan.
You said that the schools are teaching avidya and not vidya. Am I right?
Not, I said that, but it doesn't mean all schools everywhere around the world. Not like, it's a general statement he asked.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know that, is there any other alternative to that?
So there are alternatives. For example, there are gurukuls. There are schools of Advaita. Now, Mohan, it's a very complicated question because in today's world, everybody wants modern education, right? Every mother and father wants for their child education that can give them a job and a career. So if you start giving only spiritual education, all institutions will shut down. What needs to be done, Mohan, is there needs to be an option for students in schools and colleges to learn what is called enlightenment. There must be a subject. Now, everybody may not choose that subject, but there must be group sessions, question answer sessions for people. I'm asking a simple question. Should not people understand the meaning of death? Mohan, today, if you talk of death, people say, why are you talking of this boring subject? Why are you talking of this depressing subject? But death is a reality, Mohan. Everybody has to die. So
death is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, when will a student be given an opportunity to understand the meaning of death? For example, you and me were taught in school about how the embryo is conceived in the womb of the mother. We are taught 40 weeks, correct? We are shown pictures of the zygote becoming the embryo. But why are we not taught what causes the zygote? Why are we not taught where does the zygote come from? Who causes the zygote? Can man and woman be responsible to decide the child will be male or female? Can doctors decide the time of death? Why are we running away from the reality questions which I call the subject life realization? Why are we hiding from life realization? We talk of God. We talk of so many religions. Why are we hiding away? Who is God? Where is God? What is God? Why can't we have a mature discussion in schools and colleges for children to learn this? This is the Vidya I am talking about.
Correct.
Thank you. So, my dear friends, thank you, Mohan, for a very interesting last question. My dear friends, every day we are going to continue coming on this call. You know for what reason? The reason to realize the truth about life before the journey is over. Put this in your head that you cannot achieve enlightenment after you are dead. Because once you are dead on the bed, it's over. Once you are dead on the bed, you can do nothing. You cannot use your remote control. Dasi Budrani, I hope you're listening to me. Once we are dead on the bed, we do not have a remote control to decide how our money will be used and who will do what with our money. Our children can throw the money in the casino. They can buy a Ferrari. They can invest the money in the stock market. It can crash in 24 hours. We have no control. So people, the wise people know we don't earn for others to burn. They spend before the end because they realize that what is theirs only till the last breath. At death, nothing belongs to us. This is a reality.
Ravi, this is really a truth.
This is the truth, right, Dasi?
Absolutely. And I'm leaving for Bombay tonight.
Wow, very good. So I hope to meet you as soon as you're in India. Let's tie up and meet. I'm sure you're going to be there. We will look forward to meeting
I'll
you.
do that. Okay.
My dear friends, thank you for your patience and lovely participation in this call. May you all be inspired by the power of SIP, which is inside you. And may you realize that the divine is not somewhere far away in the stars. The divine is in you, in me, and in the flowers. Let us learn to appreciate the power that is everywhere. I bow down to you for your patience and presence.